Great! Beginning Whispers of the Ancients, East Asia, Episode 8. The Southern and Northern Dynasties, fractured mirrors of heaven for 20 to 589 CE. The empire had shattered, but the sky had not fallen. Where once the Han had ruled with celestial mandate, now the rivers ran between rival thrones. North and south, divided like yin and yang, each claimed the right to inherit the mandate of heaven. In the mist-shrouded valleys of the south, poets and princes sketched fleeting beauty upon paper fans, while warlords whispered in shadowed courts. In the harsh northern steppes, horse-hoofed empires thundered across the plains, foreign in tongue, yet draped in dragon robes of Chinese dynasties long dead. This was an age of division but not of darkness. Amidst the fragmentation, philosophy bloomed, faiths migrated, art flourished, and a new China was slowly, painfully reborn. This is the story of the Southern and Northern Dynasties. 1. The fracturing of an empire. The fall of the Jin dynasty in 420 CE marked the formal end of unified Han Chinese rule. From its ashes rose to worlds, the Southern Dynasties ruled from Zhongkang along the Yangtze, and the Northern Dynasties forged in the dust of conquest by non-Han powers. The South clung to the memory of Han legacy, refined, aristocratic, cultured. The North was raw, martial, transformed by the rise of Xiongbai and other steppe peoples. Their dialects were strange, their customs unfamiliar, but their ambitions imperial. It was not merely geography that divided them, it was identity too. The Southern court, remnants of Han grace, Zhongkang, modern-day Nanjing, stood as a luminous echo of classical China. Here, the Liu Song dynasty emerged, the first of 4 dynasties to hold the south in this era. It was a court of literary flourish and Confucian orthodoxy, steeped in ritual and ancestry. Yet beneath the brocade robes and elegant verse lay insecurity. Succession crises and palaces plagued every southern regime. Liu Song, Southern Qi, Liang, and Chen, their rulers were often scholars before they were kings, and swords danced too often in their halls. Even as emperors fell to conspiracies, the arts soared to sublime heights. 3 northern barbarians, imperial dreams. North of the Yellow River, a new dynasty was rising, the Northern Wei, founded by the Tuoba clan of the Xiongbai, a nomadic people who had once roamed the Mongolian steppes. To Han eyes, they were outsiders, but the Tuoba were quick to adopt Chinese statecraft, language, and even surnames. Under Emperor Shao Wen, sweeping reforms sinicized the court, moving the capital to Luoyang, mandating Chinese dress, and outlawing Xiongbai customs. This was not imitation, it was transformation. The Tuoba did not merely conquer China, they became it. For faith on the wind, the spread of Buddhism as political order splintered, spiritual hunger grew. Buddhism, long a whisper on China's silk-swept edges, now roared through the northern courts. Monasteries dotted the landscape. Sutras were copied in golden ink. Foreign monks, like Kumarayeva, translated sacred texts with precision and poetry. The magnificent Yungang and Longmeng Grotto's temples carved into living rock stood as stone sermons, their Buddhas gazing across time in silent serenity. In the south, Taoism and Confucianism held firmer roots, but Buddhism still found fertile soil, especially under Emperor Wu of Liang, who nearly abdicated to become a monk. Divided though the realm was, the Dharma knew no borders. 5. Art in an age of instability. Amid civil war and shifting thrones, China birthed some of its most profound art. The 6 Dynasties era saw painting transform from mere illustration to spiritual revelation. Gu Kezi, painter of ethereal maidens and courtly scenes, captured not likeness but soul. His hand moved like wind across silk. Calligraphy evolved from record-keeping to elevated expression. Wang Zizi, the sage of calligraphy, penned letters that danced like flowing rivers. His Lantinjizu, a masterpiece beyond words. Literature bloomed too. The 7 sages of the bamboo grove, eccentrics of wit and wine defied convention, carving out a new individualist ethos amid societal decay. Art, it seemed, could thrive even as dynasties crumbled. 6. Northern Wei, reforms and rupture. Northern Wei's Emperor Xiao Wen sought to unify through assimilation, but his policies caused rifts within the Xiongbai elite. Resistance brewed, the weight of cultural change fractured the empire, and by 530 for CE, it split into Eastern Wei and Western Wei, each propped up by rival warlords. Their descendants would become the Northern Qi and Northern Zhou. These were dynasties not of longevity, but of transformation, testing the limits of power, ethnicity, and belief. Meanwhile, the South watched with wary eyes. 7. The South, a court of fractured petals. In the warm mists of the Yangtze, the southern dynasties rose and fell like lotus blossoms on a stormed lake. After the Liu Song came the southern Qi, brief, brilliant, and blood-soaked. Then Liang, with its patron of monks and monasteries, Emperor Wu, whose passion for the Dharma outshone his grasp on the sword. The South spoke in delicate tones of refinement and culture. Poets walked beneath weeping willows, ink dripping like rain, yet court intrigues burned behind beaded curtains. Generals plotted in garden pavilions. Fathers killed sons. Brothers poisoned brothers. Ministers whispered death. In all its elegance, the South could not escape the weight of its own fragility. 8. The Northern Zhou and the turning of the wheel. Amid the smouldering ruins of Northern Wei, to phoenixes rose Northern Qi in the east, Northern Zhou in the west. Northern Qi, though powerful, descended into decadence and cruelty. Its rulers bathed in paranoia, cloaking themselves in silken suspicion. In contrast, Northern Zhou embraced the mantle of reform. Its regents, particularly the Yuan clan, steered the state through a storm of rebellions, Buddhist power struggles, and internal decay. Yet Northern Zhou was not to last. From its courts emerged a name that would echo across centuries: Yang Jian, the Duke of Sui. But his time had not yet come. 9. A world in religious bloom. This was a time not only of politics, but of profound religious flowering. Taoism, once the quiet breath of mountain sages, became institutionalized. Heavenly masters declared divine authority. The Lingbao texts wove cosmology with ritual, shaping the liturgy of future dynasties. Buddhism, ever ascendant, adapted to Chinese soil. Mahayana ideals merged with Confucian filial piety. Ghost festivals blossomed. Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion, transformed softening into Guanyin, the weeping goddess who heard the cries of all souls. China's spiritual map had changed. No longer was there one center, one faith, one mandate. There were many heavens and many seekers. 10. The pulse of the Silk Road. Even in division, China remained open to the world. Caravans from Central Asia threaded through Gansu's desert neck. Sogdian merchants spoke tongues unknown in Luoyang's tea houses. Persian traders arrived with glass, horses, and myth. In Dunhuang, caves were carved by hands from 10 nations, their walls shimmering with Buddhas and bodhisattvas painted in saffron and lapis. Through the fractured dynasties, the Silk Road never stopped breathing. Ideas moved, people moved, empires warred, but commerce endured. China, though torn within, remained tied to something greater beyond. 11. Great walls and northern fortresses. Defense defined the northern mindset. Steppe raids, internal strife, and shifting alliances shaped their every move. To the north, walls ancestors of the Great Wall were raised, repaired, and extended. Earth and stone lines traced dragon paths over mountain ridges, not merely to keep enemies out, but to project the very idea of civilization. Cavalry dominated warfare. Armored horses thundered across the plains, banners snapping in bitter wind. It was not merely about winning. Survival itself was a form of resistance. For centuries, the northern dynasties did not forget the dream of unification. The mandate of heaven waited somewhere. 12. Southern elegance, southern chaos. In the south, culture reached sublime beauty and political decay. The Liang dynasty's Emperor Wu, a patron of Buddhism, funded temples and welcomed foreign monks. He practiced meditation and renunciation, even retreating into monastic vows. But this sacred devotion left the court vulnerable. The rebellion of Hu Jing shattered his illusions. A general turned traitor who besieged Zhongkang humiliated the emperor and ravaged the southern heartland. famine, fire, and mass death followed the Liang Limptong, but the dynasty never recovered. It became a flickering candle in a collapsing hall of mirrors. 13. Northern intrigue, the Xiongbai legacy. The Northern Dynasties, though sinicized in many ways, retained a pulse of their nomadic roots. Court politics were brutal, driven by tribal alliances, intermarriages and military pacts. The Tuoba, Yuan, and other steppe clans balanced identity with aspiration. Who were they, truly? Barbarians in dragon robes or emperors reborn? The answer did not matter. Their rule was real. They built cities. They minted coins. They sponsored scholars. Their legacy was etched not only in conquest but in governance. They had become China, and yet China had changed. 14. The synthesis of civilizations. Over centuries of fracture, something remarkable occurred: convergence. Northern rulers adopted Chinese bureaucracy but brought a fresh martial edge. Southern elites, though nostalgic for the Han, engaged with Buddhism and foreign trade in ways their ancestors never dreamed. Out of war and union, language evolved. So did dress, music, and ceremony. The once rigid Han identity gave way to something broader, more resilient, more inclusive. A new Chinese civilization was being forged not by a single dynasty but by centuries of contrast, collision and cohabitation. 15. The rise of the Sui, a mandate reclaimed. In 581 CE, the wheel turned. Yang Jian, former general and regent of northern Zhou, declared himself emperor when of Sui. A master of statecraft, he reunified the north, then turned his gaze southward. By 589 CE, the southern Chen dynasty fell. For the first time in nearly 400 years, China was whole. The mandate of heaven had found a new bearer. But it was no restoration, it was a revolution. 16. Legacy from fracture, a foundation. Historians once called this a Dark Age, an era of collapse. But in truth, the southern and northern dynasties built bridges. They seeded ideas that would bloom in the Tang. They transformed Buddhism from foreign cult to national creed. They expanded China's identity geographically, spiritually, and ethnically. Their walls crumbled. Their thrones vanished. But their echoes shaped an empire yet to come. 17. Whispers of the Ancients, reflections in a divided mirror. In the end, this age was a mirror cracked, but not broken. Each fragment reflected a truth of China, the warrior and the scholar, the monk and the merchant, the emperor and the exile. The rivers that once divided would one day carry grain and silk across a reunited land. The mountains that once marked borders would become holy sites, and the ghosts of fallen courts would whisper not of failure but of transition. In silence, in shadow, the soul of China endured. Before Tang, before Golden Age, there was silence, there was fracture, but there was also light, dim, flickering, yet eternal. From the dust of division, the dragon would rise again.